there's been a lot of developmental programs in sports recently, not just football. You spoke about basketball. I know there was, I think you had a clinic in Ibadan, if I'm correct. And then this tennis story, there are stories coming from Gombe. So it's very good. It's not enough in terms of where we want our athletes to be long term, but at least for the short term, we're getting to see our athletes get events. Because I think about this AfroCan we went for, and as bad as our league has been over the past few years, Nigeria has been able to produce players, and they have delivered against countries that are supposedly more better in terms of organization than we are. So it just tells you that we've got talent in Nigeria. All we need is the proper preparations and training, proper events and exposure, and then you see us do it good. Because I think about many of the events we've done well. Wrestling, for example, badminton, Scrabble. Look, we're good at these things. I just think we need just that extra push, that extra exposure. Athletics, for example. We have our athletes go abroad to the US for scholarships, and look at what they're tearing the US with some very good performance. We're not getting a lot of world record times, but we're getting athletes who can hold their own with some of the best anyway.
All right, taking a look at the news hound and what interests everybody. I don't know, the House of Reps summoning the Nigerian Football Federation.
I think it's a waste of time. I totally think it's a waste of time. The question I'm asking you is that, did you approve money, or was money approved before that they did not release to them? One. Number two,
don't you have other things to deal with?
It seems like they don't have a lot of things to deal with, because I remember the JAM story. They asked JAM to come, and I'm like, guys, look, you've given JAM the authority and the power to organize these exams. Let JAM sort it out. We have more pressing needs in the economy.
Clearly they're not busy. Clearly they're not busy at all, because I mean the girls have stated very clearly that there was no plan to boycott any game, no plan for any protest whatsoever. The captain has spoken. Azizat Oshola has said, look, their focus is on the FIFA Women's World Cup, especially their first game. So all of this is just a way of creating an conducive atmosphere, and just looking for necessary attention. This is not their concern.
That's a sitting allowance, though.
It's not their concern. Let the Football Federation deal with their issues. Just leave this thing alone.
Okay, so the Football Federation comes and says, okay, we're working on these things. What do you want to do? Because a lot of you would immediately board a plane and fly to Australia to watch these girls. So why not just help the Football Federation at the back and make sure that this money is available in terms of preparations? That's what the Federation needs. That's why they did the dinner, to try and raise some funds. As much as we give the Federation stick, that sometimes I'm like, look, if government is going to try to form that, we are not aware of what is going on, I'm like, come on. There's a budget. And in the budget, I'm sure the NFF said we're going for the Women's World Cup this year. So provide the money and let them. It's when they don't do that, you're not, okay, guys, what's going on?
Yeah, they don't get work.
What's going on?
Well, Wimbledon, Alcaraz, Medvedev, semi-finals on Friday. Everyone expects that Alcaraz will breeze through Medvedev, but I beg to differ. I think I tweeted yesterday, I think Medvedev will upset Alcaraz. But what I think is really, really disheartening, and I think Djokovic has spoken about it, is how when they're preparing for a game, their practice sessions, it's open to everybody. And that should not be the case. He wants a private practice session, because he talks about a story, or rather an incident, where Alcaraz's father attends his practice session, makes a video of him in a training session, and probably goes back and plays back to his son and says, look, these are his weaknesses. This is what you need to get done. And he's complaining about this. This should be a closed session. There are things that my team and I are working on that we don't want the public or the opposition to know about. And I think he does have a good claim here, to be honest.
That's a very difficult thing. It can go both ways. It can also go the way of Djokovic.
But why leave training sessions open to each and everybody to attend? Why?
Well, they're trying to build that sort
because the same he also talks about the fact that, look, the intensity that he brings into the training session is just the same as when he's playing a competitive game. And that's exposing yourself.
I'm rooting for Djokovic to win. And what you said from this whole story that just strikes at me is that there's no way Alcaraz will play Djokovic onto the final. They're not in the same draws. They're in different pots. So you're already looking at the guy you play in the final. Meanwhile, you've got someone in the semi-final that you're not even focusing on.
No, they're looking beyond Medvedev.
Why are you looking beyond Medvedev?
Because
why?
They're looking beyond that.
Why?
Because even from the first day that the draws were made, everybody was talking about the possibility of an Alcaraz-Djokovic final. That's exactly what they want.
Djokovic already beat you the last time in the last Grand Slam. And that was supposed to be your preferred surface. Because Alcaraz looks like someone who's very good on clay. Djokovic beat you there in the semi-final. So now all you're trying... Djokovic is 35. We're 36 this year, even already 36.
But he's also beaten Djokovic once as well. So,
well, when it matters, Djokovic has gotten the best of you recently. And I think that, look, you're supposed to start creating your own stardom, your own... Djokovic has his own legacy. You have to start creating your legacy. Stop making it about Djokovic. There's no rivalry between the two of you. Djokovic rivalry...
There is. He needs to take over. He's the next best thing in tennis right now. He needs to take over. He needs to affirm his presence. And the only way to do that is by completely eradicating, the threat that Djokovic is. And you have to start first with Medvedev anyway. But then again, just like we did against Denmark, thinking about Brazil, this is a situation now, with Medvedev and Alcaraz. And his father already thinks that a final berth is what his son deserves.
I like the women's draw anyway. I love what Svitolina is doing because, look, we spoke about, what's her name? Was it Wozniacki? Caroline Wozniacki planning to return. And I thought it was a little too close in terms of she gave birth in October. She's already thinking about returning, nursing mother, all those things, sports-wise. Does she have the mental strength to return to that elite level? And then it's almost the same situation with Svitolina. She's returned, some 3-4 months ago? And already she's in a semi-final of a Grand Slam. That is remarkable. She's beaten Iga Swiatek. Now, we all know from the beginning that this is not Swiatek's favorite surface. She has always struggled as Wimbledon. So even she knew that this would be a very big stretch. But I will not take away anything from the fact that Svitolina has done very good. She's been brilliant. And she joins a very few list of women if she goes on to win it, who have given birth, returned, and have gone on to win the Grand Slam. Kim Clijsters, I think, what's her name? There are a few of them who have won it in the past, but Clijsters is the big name that jumps out my head. I think, don't know Azarenka. I know one of them has also done it in time past. So, not a lot of women have given birth, returned to win a Grand Slam. I'm rooting for her to go all the way and win it this year. It'll be something special.
To who to win it?
For Svitolina to win it.
You don't want Hans Jabeur to win it? You don't want your own African sister?
No,
I think they worry you.
I'm supporting Svitolina in this one. I'm supporting her on this one.
All right, before we take your messages, which we might delay for just a few minutes, former Super Eagles captain, we're told, Austin Jojo Okocha, has been invited by Africa's apex football body, that's talking about CAF, to grace today's 45th Honorary General Assembly and the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying draw. You remember in June of 2nd, FIFA released the pots for the African qualifying draw for the Mundial, which will be co-hosted by Canada, Mexico, and the US. Okocha and some African football legends will be in attendance as the Ivorian capital of Abidjan hosts two major events on the continent's football calendar. We're also told that the likes of El Hadji Diouf, Didier Drogba, alongside other personalities like Emmanuel Adebayo, will also be present at the event as they announce the qualifiers. I hope it's an easy one for the Super Eagles.
We want it to be hard.
No, we don't want it to be hard.
Because we know we did not... I know how we mentioned...
I'm still suffering from Nigeria not qualifying for the last FIFA World Cup. I don't want it to happen again.
It will take a while, but you balance out.
I don't want...
You balance out.
I don't want it to happen again,
take a little while. You balance out.
Now we have 9 slots. I think Nigeria will definitely be there at the FIFA World Cup.
Can we not make it with 9 teams? How can we not make it with 9 teams? I'll be surprised if we can't make it.
Does it water down the competition, though?
I think it makes it very complicated at the beginning. Maybe later on we'll find a way to get it done, but at the beginning, I think, because 32 for me was a serious stretch. If people remember, it wasn't 32 before. We moved to 32, I think it was in 94 or so, 98, I'm not very sure. But what I'm saying is that 48, that's a lot of... It means the World Cup probably will never be hosted by one country. If the USA, as big as the US is, they're needing Canada and Mexico to support in terms of more areas to cover, more grounds and all. It automatically reduces the World Cup ever being hosted by one country. 2030, we're hearing countries doing combined bid. There was Portugal, Spain, and Morocco. 3 of them are planning to put a joint bid. Now, Saudi Arabia saying we'll host it. Now, Saudi, yes, they're doing a lot, but from now to 2030, I don't know, man. 48 teams. That's a lot. That's a lot.
To think that some time ago, FIFA said they were done with co-hosting as far as the FIFA World Cup is concerned. Now they're back to it. I'm talking about the World Cup, the Women's World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
How many days to go?
We have about 7. Yeah,
7 days to go.
Yeah.
And so far, FIFA have only 2 sponsors. The women's game is not attracting the sort of attention and monetary value that FIFA was expecting it to. You know, they're finding it very difficult to find sponsors, and it's a really very, very unsavory situation with the women's game.
So where is the money that FIFA is sharing coming from? Because this money has caused a lot of problems. We still had a conversation about this on Monday, and we're all going at each other's throats. And I'm like, look, where's FIFA getting this money from? Because if FIFA is giving money, which is a good thing, they're giving the footballers direct to encourage to bring something different out of this World Cup and make it the best World Cup. What is going on? FIFA is even still giving room that tickets are still available. But you told me you sold 1 million tickets. But where is this extra tickets coming from? It means that except you are padding the information, you're not giving me the full truth. I love the money idea. It's good for them. Hey, $30,000. Hey, that's great. But the question is, if there are no sponsors, so why are you making it seem like it is a gang something when it is not gang yet?
I don't know. It's difficult. And I know people are very sentimental when it comes to the women's game, when it comes to women in sports, you know, across board. But the reality of it has to be taken on, you know, headlong. You know, the women's game cannot in any way be compared to the men's game. You know, there was a lot of success as far as viewership is concerned for the last Women's World Cup. Yeah. Record numbers. Mm-hmm. But really, when it comes to brass tacks, you know, how many people really want to put their money in the women's game? You know, how much development really has gone into the women's game?
A good example is Nigeria.
It's showing. It's showing.
A good example is Nigeria. The Super Falcons are at the World Cup and there's no buzz.
Yeah. I mean, if it was a man going to the FIFA World Cup, you'd find sponsors running helter-skelter. Yeah. You know, but the girls have gone and more or less unheralded.
It takes only the House of Representatives to remember their day.
It's sad.
Let's meet and talk about this situation. But I do hope that I'm hoping that FIFA has a long-term goal for this. I'm not a marketing person in that sense, but look, there has to be another way. Maybe sell the 2 tournaments together. I don't know. Sell it some way. Find a way to not just increase money and throw money around, but look for a way to make their base sustain. Because there were some small victories. You mentioned 2019, the Euros, Women's Euros had some good numbers. I think the Champions League in Europe also had some good numbers. The Africa Cup of Nations also had a good spike.
Maybe like the Olympics, yeah? Have the Men's World Cup in like in 2030, 2026, the next one. Mm-hmm. Abi?
Yeah.
Yeah. As soon as it's done, that same year, a few months later, have the Women's World Cup.
That'd be a bad idea.
You know, and have the sponsors, you know, sign a document that says, look, your sponsorship must go beyond the men's game.
Like the Olympics and the Paralympics.
Like the Olympics and the Paralympics, yes.
Let's go. No,
you know, back to back. That might solve the problem. All right, let's take your messages. Some coming through as we wait to hook up with our guest who is in Abuja as we speak. If we do make connection, we'll put him through on the show.
All right, so we've got this one here. It says, good morning, guys. This is Shegun from Ejigbo. Going back to this matter. It says, Catholic priests used to get married in the past. That I'm sure of. I did my research as well. In fact, it was not until the 11th century that the Catholic Church made celibacy mandatory for all priests. Before that, it was common for priests to be married, and some even had children. Today, there are still a few Eastern Catholic churches that allow married men to be ordained as priests. However, the vast majority of Catholic priests in the world are celibate. I think maybe before you take your vows, before you get married, then that's fine. But I think afterwards is when you can't do it again. But before, it was done.
I don't understand. You can formerly married men can become priests, yes?
I think so, no, yes.
After having tasted the apple, you now become a priest and never ever.
Like you said, when nobody knew when Saul was going to see the light on his way to Damascus. Nobody knew.
So once you've tasted the apple, and then you now said, I'm not going to eat apple anymore. And you're never going to crave for it. It takes the grace of God.
But when so? Because I remember that I was going through a document. I went through it yesterday. Just couldn't, I didn't leave the document open on my phone. When they mentioned the council, I think it was the second council of the Lateran in 1139 that introduced celibacy for priests. Yeah, so before then, it was actually okay for priests to go on and get married. Olufat from Ibafo says, good morning, Sports Zone. Ten Hag says Mason Mount will add dynamism to Man United game because of one game he played. We shall see about that. And as for the Super Falcons...
Which game? Is it the win against Leeds United?
Yeah, 2-0. Make them just, they play their 3 games and come back home.
I hear Inter Milan have also given Manchester United an ultimatum. They have to make another bid within the next 24 hours or the deal for Nana will be cancelled. And Ten Hag is appealing to the board at Manchester United to do something, about ensuring that the player comes to Manchester United, up their bid.
If must Onana be
60
your
million
or choice?
Nothing.
Why must you take Onana?
What do you mean, why?
My point is that United don't have the money. The club says they're not going to give you the money for it. Is it
they have the money, but they're just not. They don't believe he's worth 60 million.
There are other goalkeepers. Raya was worth 40 million pounds. David Raya for Brentford. Go for another choice because United currently don't have a first team goalkeeper. Like when I mean a first choice goalkeeper.
No, they still have Tom Heaton in the club.
Heaton left Burnley or which club was he? Dean Henderson, Nottingham Forest. I never thought he was that good. You're letting De Gea move. You must already have a succession plan for De Gea. Brentford had the idea that they were going to sell Raya to Spurs. Brentford went on to buy another goalkeeper, I think Flacken, the goalkeeper for Freiburg.
All right, let's take our first call. Okay, we lost that one.
Okay, let me read a few more messages coming through. And this one here says, good morning, Sports Zone. I'm Peter from Surulere. Please, Charles, tell you a guy in the studio to bring back
People are craving my intro. They're craving my intro.
No.
Okay, I'll do it tomorrow.
I thought we'd gone past it.
No, what do you mean?
I thought we'd gone.
How can we go past
I thought we've outgrown it.
Excuse you?
I thought we've outgrown it.
No.
We didn't outgrow it.
It's back tomorrow. It's back tomorrow. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, man.
I don't know.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You haven't come to watch any games at the Niger Super 8, have you?
I was on Saturday. But then I was even trying to share some back. Not picking, so maybe he thought I want to start on stream. That's why
Mr. Motor Show, I cannot believe you said this on radio. I picked your phone call yesterday.
On Saturday. I said on Saturday.
I said, but I picked it yesterday. I picked your phone call yesterday.
On Saturday. I said on Saturday.
I said, but I picked it yesterday.
You picked for yesterday now.
Yeah, but not Saturday. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Motor.
I'm urging all social community to please join Janu in prayer. It's presently at last week.
Okay.
I got from another platform yesterday that last week taking care of that is payment for free. So I called him to go there. Actually, I've met him this morning. So I'm going back there now. Please let's join him in prayer to be a successful one. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much for the good work that you're doing in following up with Jamu. That shows a lot of faithfulness. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
This one here says, good morning, Sports Zone. My name is Nifemi from Osborne. Please, what's the latest update on Declan Rice and Timber?
What's really with the Declan Rice story? It's amazing that Arsenal haven't.
They want to bottle it. That was to bottle it.
Oh man, it's amazing.
I hear the lawyers are actually.
You have the papers. Yeah. Sign the papers. Why haven't Arsenal signed the papers?
They want to make sure they dot the I's across the T's. And then for Timber, I think Timber's story is done already. They just want to make a formal announcement soon because the brother has already, I think his twin already revealed that that's a done deal. So
somebody said something about the players on holiday when it comes back in this day and age of what do you call it? Technology. Media. You don't need to be there physically except you're doing your medicals. It's about signing documents.
All right, rice is not as if rice. It's not just rice. Rice is not as if rice is this gang kind of football.
I pray for Arsenal somebody doesn't hijack that deal until you wear somebody's. Even when Mikel Obi wore United jersey and was displayed. Just still carry on.
Still hijack. Even William was in sports.
Hello, good morning.
If that right deal doesn't fall through, there will be meltdown on social media. This is done right. I think the problem with the right deal is mode of payment.
No, but they've agreed on the mode of payments. That's been agreed.
So West Ham says they want the money in 2 years after it's trying to say 5 years. And
They pay the money now.
these are the things I think is actually holding down the deal. But I know they deal with skill too. I don't see anybody coming to pay 105 for Rice now. I've looked at everybody except Real Madrid just.
Okay, so what you're saying ultimately is that he's not worth that much.
Of course, not that much now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not worth that much now. How can Rice be worth that much? How much did they buy this that year? Like they're buying Rice.
How do you know Chelsea will not try to hijack?
No, we don't need Rice. We don't need Rice.
Chelsea wants to buy Caicedo. They're still there for Caicedo, and that's a lot of money too.
No.
Caicedo and Rice, they play totally different football.
Besides, the reverse is the case. Caicedo wants to play for Chelsea.
I don't want to play for anybody big. He said the same thing for Arsenal.
He wants to play for Chelsea.
Caicedo said last season that he wants to play for Arsenal.
It's the same thing every year.
I think he just wants to leave Brighton and move on to bigger things. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm lying. Pray well, oh. Pray, oh.
I'm coming to watch Sporting Lagos. Are you going to be there?
I will be there.
Okay, I'll come. I'll try and see you.
Okay. All right, cool, man. Hello, good morning. Hello. Go scholar. Okay.
Let me read a couple more of your messages right here. Peter from Ogba says, no one who follows tennis would overlook Medvedev. Medvedev and Alcaraz are the only players that stand between Djokovic and his 24th, 25th and 26th Grand Slam before retirement. Amen. Charlie saying that the Super Eagles were looking at Brazil instead of focusing on Denmark was and is the flimsiest excuse ever. The Danish team will beat us 20 times if we play that game 20 times.
I disagree.
We're simply not good enough.
I disagree. I mean, what we saw on the nights suggests that we were not good enough against the Danes. And I'm sure everybody understands and knows the reason for that. But if the Super Eagles were focused and were not concerned with monies, I don't see the Danish beating us at all.
But that World Cup was...
At all. We
would have played that game. We wouldn't have lost 4-1.
At all. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Charles Anazadu.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And my able brother, I greet you too.
Good morning.
My name remains Obizenas.
Obi, where you doing now?
But I did listen, but also everywhere now.
Now, wow, don't say small.
Yeah, I tell you. Well, we will not feel leave sports now. We still do.
All right, what's on your mind?
Now, so your family know it.
You have 15 seconds actually. Obi.
And make I tell you, if I talk, if you 15 seconds come, make cut no problem. If family know it, if he call you.
Abi.
Baba. So more just leave it like that.
Abi.
So I wish our sporting Lagos team all the best. So as it is so now, they favor me at the fines, cloud, understand. But if that opportunity come, I wish you. But if you not come, I'll still listen.
Okay, we have to let you go now. Thank you for calling, Obizenas. All right, welcome back. Lines blinking. Let's take a few. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Charles and Mr. Femi.
Good morning.
This is Lugard. I'm Andrew from Surulere.
Okay, Andrew, how's the mainland today?
Fine, everywhere is clear.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry, you can come in whenever you're ready.
Nah, they fear now for mainland, man. They fear now.
Okay. I think the only reason why the Rice deal is still hanging is because Man City pulled out of the whole race. And I think Guardiola is just trying to please Arteta to let him have the free way to get his man. If not, they know what they feel this is. Then, just to put my thoughts for the Reverend Father and discussion, I think that the ability for Reverend Fathers not to get married, or should I call it an ability now, was one of the dogmas that led to the Protestants bringing out the Anglican Church moving forward. That's why in Anglican Church you have their priests getting married, and they both have similar doctrines and all of that. So that's just what I have to share.
Okay, I just think that to stop all the stories that we hear about what's that thing? What's that word again? Assaults, between priests and altar boys. Just let them just be. That's my take. I'm
not even bringing the aspect of assaults or whatever. Just the marriage aspect. That's what I just said. If you believe in the doctrine, once you say you want to be a part of an organization and you know what they stand for, the moment you join, that means you are ready to follow the rules. They are aware of all of this. So if you know you cannot stay single for the rest of your life, then find another way. That's just me.
Yeah, you have a point there, but sometimes, All right, thank you for calling.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, fine, man.
Hey, today you must talk your name, oh.
If you follow me for that, please. Don't join them for that, please.
Today you must talk your name. You must talk your name.
I don't know what my name do, people. The name, I don't like the name. That's slave name.
Are you serious?
It's not slave name now.
What's your native name? What's your native name?
My native name is Kene.
So when you say this is a Kene calling you.
I tried several times to change that name. It don't work. That's why none of my children they bear any English name. So it's not that name now, Igbo name, not my name.
Oh, goodness me. Okay, Kene, thank you for calling.
How much against Denmark? For trash Denmark.
Well.
That kind of thing. We not overlook them and went. We are cutting our heads before it don't have.
Yeah.
That's what happened to us. It was just a quarter against them that day. Like if the team was fully ready, so that kind of thing with the quarter head that day, where the guys play shaky, Denmark would have been now.
I agree.
It's unfortunate. That's on our history now.
Yeah, be
but the House of Rest look for something better to do. It's not their business. It's true now. They should look for something better to do.
They don't get work. Don't mind them. They don't get work.
Okay. We've got this message here. Olusoga Ajayi from Ikorodu says, what's the latest update about Mbappe's transfer?
Nothing has changed concerning Mbappe. Nothing really. It's either he signs a new contract extension or, it's just a very, very dirty thing, to be honest. Like I said when we talked about this earlier, if I were the management, I would keep him at the club and ensure that he sits on the bench all through the season.
All right, let me read a few more of your messages. This one here, PS Connect says Arsenal is playing games. They don't want to pay full month salaries. Chidi from Ilukweju says, please, priests not getting married has nothing to do with sex, but to avoid family distraction. This comes as a result as past experiences. Even St. Peter said marriage is an option. Nifemi, okay, from husband, says, I heard someone say that now that Chelsea doesn't want Rice. Please, what did they do with drink water? Okay. Good morning, Sports Zone. Charles from Bariga. If Arsenal cannot buy Rice now,
everyone's making a joke out of Rice and Arsenal. Why now?
Can't buy Rice.
Why?
This Rice of 18 is gold. Is it gold? We've also got this one that says it's like Chelsea is planting moles in different clubs because I don't understand what they're doing. Maybe they want to cripple other clubs to have a good chart.
I don't understand that comment because Chelsea right now have gone to America on a preseason training tour with 29 players. They're fully concentrated. Pochettino's looking to take the players through their paces. So I don't understand what that means.
All right, this one here says, good morning. I watched the Super 8 like 3 times on TV. Never thought Nigerian football could be so captivating to watch. I think we should extend this coverage to the league proper. Hope to watch one of the games live. Well done, guys. Stephen from Victoria Island. A lot of games have always been, even the Super 6, they were captivating games. I don't think the Super 6 was more difficult than the Super 8. But I feel the Super 8, since it's pre-season friendly, clubs and coaches are taking it a little bit lighter. No, but I thought the Super 6 was very competitive. Like everybody was scheming. No one wanted to just open up and just concede. So I don't know. I think you're missing out on a good thing. Anyway. We've also got this message here from Icon Wigan. Says West Ham are frustrated by the length of time taken to sell the 24-year-old England international, caused by delays in paperwork drawn up by Arsenal lawyers. And then he quotes Sky Sports as his source. Okay. Phone calls?
Hello. We lost it. All right, more news coming your way. The NOA, that's the Nigeria Olympic. Hello, good morning. That's the Nigeria Olympic Association. Will today honor the Edo State Deputy Governor, retired Honorable Comrade Philip Shuaibu, with a Special Achievements and Recognition Award. A letter to the Deputy Governor conveying the award and signed by the Gen Sec of NOA says it was in recognition of his contributions and achievements to sports development in Nigeria.
Well, he's been around for a bit, so yeah. He's been around.
Benin Insurance are doing things the right way. Recently had an awards ceremony where young players were, like an end of season award thing that's done abroad.
Yeah, it should be.
That sort of thing. And it was really very good. And they've put it out on social media asking people to vote their favorite player. It was really very nice.
I think we should have more of that, even from club sides, because you get to connect with your fans who can tell you what they liked.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie Chaplin. Sebastian here. Femi Farawe.
Good morning.
I greet you guys.
Oh, no.
This, I was listening to Sky Sports and they were quite, West Ham are frustrated on the fact that Arsenal has not come through with the payment. I think if Arsenal no fee buy that, maybe they buy bills now. Yeah? At least, let me say something there. But they need to conclude that deal because, one, it's probably going to make the season has not started, but the players already getting unsettled based on all these transfer moves. It might look a little bit. As for Mbappe, Charlie, I totally agree with you. Keep him at the club and make him sit on the bench all through the season and not play one single game.
I think Mbappe is just totally irresponsible. I just think he is.
He's at the peak of his abilities. He knows what his value is. He's cashing out.
Yeah, but be professional about it. You don't go on social media or talk to the press and talk the way he did about PSG.
I agree.
You don't say things
I
like
agree,
that.
but I think PSG cost this for themselves. PSG
if I were Real Madrid, I would not even sign him because of the things that he said about PSG. Because ultimately, you could also do the same to Madrid when you get there.
He cannot do it to Madrid. Madrid are bigger. Madrid have had bigger stars than he has, and then he will ever be. Yes.
So you can't go beyond this.
Madrid has a level. No, Madrid has a history of signing the biggest footballers in the world.
Okay.
So there's no way you're walking to that dressing room feeling like I'm on top. PSG, I feel I'm on top. I'm a World Cup winner. How many of you have won the World Cup? But at Real Madrid, people are looking like, are you joking? Madrid signs superstars and sell them the next season. What's the big deal?
It's about him disrupting the dressing room.
He can't disrupt the dressing room.
The way, what's his name? The Irish player did when he was there. What's that player again?
Which club?
No, the Welsh player.
Gareth Bale.
And
what did they do? They just sidelined Bale.
And that's what I'm saying. That kind of thing is disrupting team.
By the end of the day, it affected Bale because Bale's career went south from then on. Real Madrid just used one hand and push. Even Ronaldo, when Ronaldo was busy complaining every year, I want to move, I'm tired. When it was time, Madrid sold, they made extra profits after getting the best years out and sent him to Juventus. So it's Madrid. Madrid will just do what Madrid does.